What's good, YouTube? We are back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to create this liquid spiral effect or liquid explosion effect, whatever you want to call it, inside After Effects. In order to create this look, we're going to be using a few effects. There are no plugins required in order to create this look. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and let's get right into it. So here in After Effects, I have this clip playing of Ken Carson in Sofago's music video, and what we're going to do in order to get started is, because the liquid effect is happening behind our subject, we're going to double click our layer and we're going to rotoscope our subject. So in this case, I'm going to rotoscope Ken Carson. Double click the layer and grab the roto brush tool. When it comes to rotoscoping, in order to make your roto brush bigger, you want to hold the control button and left click and drag your mouse, and that just makes your roto brush bigger or smaller. If there are any unwanted parts that you don't want to rotoscope, you're able to hold the alt button and left click and just drag over it, and it just gets rid of the parts that you don't want to rotoscope. Before I even start rotoscoping, I'm going to add an effect called curves, just to bring out the highlights and the values of my subject, because since we're in a darker scene, it's kind of hard to rotoscope. I'm just going to bring out the values. Once I'm done rotoscoping, I am going to delete this curves effect. So grab our roto brush tool and I'm going to rotoscope my subject. As you're rotoscoping, make sure to go frame by frame just to check that everything was accurately rotoscoped the way you want it to. And once you're done checking that, hit the freeze button. And what that does is lock in our subject. After hitting the freeze button, we want to then go back into the composition, and I'm going to delete the curves effect because we're not going to need that anymore after rotoscoping. And now if we're in our composition, we have a rotoscoped Ken Carson. What I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the feather and make it 10, just so that the edges feel a little softer, and I'm going to decrease the shift edge to -60. I'm going to then duplicate this layer twice, so Control D and click it twice, get those two layers and bring it to the bottom. Just to make it easier, I'm going to name my layers. I'm going to name the middle one as Ken 2 and name the bottom one as Ken BG for background, because that's going to be the background layer. So we want to get rid of the roto brush effect for that layer. And for this effect, we're mainly going to be focusing on the middle layer, because that's the layer that's going to be creating this liquid spiral effect. So in order to get started, I'm going to add a tritone to this layer, and I'm going to make the midtones a yellow color. And if we turn that off, we have Ken Carson with the tritone effect right underneath. After the tritone effect, I'm going to add a turbulent displace. Change the displacement to twist smoother, make the amount to 0, the size to 2. We're going to eventually keyframe the evolution. I'm going to keyframe at the end once I'm done adding all the effects. We're going to now add a glow to this layer, increase the glow radius to 300 and the glow intensity to 3. After the glow effect, we're going to add a motion tile. I'm going to increase the output width and the output height to 500, and make sure to click the mirror edges. And then for our final effect, I'm going to add a twirl. Change the angle of the twirl to 270 and the twirl radius to 10. So now if we play this, we have the base of our effect, and now what we're going to do is start animating in order to create that liquid spiral effect. So in order to get started, we're going to start out by keyframing the evolution of the turbulent displace. I'm going to keyframe the evolution at the start and go forward 30 frames. So in order to go forward 30 frames, you want to hold the shift button and click the page down button on your keyboard. Click that 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and that will be 30 frames. And then we're going to keyframe the evolution at 360. So that's one full cycle, which is what this 1 stands for. And we're going to click our layer and click U to reveal the keyframes. We're going to then keyframe the twirl radius. So in the beginning, keyframe the twirl radius at 10, and then go forward 30 frames and keyframe it back to 0. And every time you create these keyframes, just make sure to click the layer and click U, just so that we can see our keyframes and it makes it easier for us. And then we're going to now keyframe the position, scale, as well as the rotation. So keyframe the scale and the rotation as well as the position. And for the position, I want my liquid spiral effect to animate right behind our subject, just so that it looks a little more natural. I'm going to then click our layer, click U, and go forward 30 frames. Keyframe our rotation counterclockwise. I'm going to have that at -360. And as our liquid spiral effect is animating, we do see the bottom edges of our effect. So what I'm going to do is go where the animation happens and just go back 6 frames, and I'm going to keyframe the scale at 180, and then we're going to go back towards the end and keyframe it back to 100. And also keyframe the position back to 960, 540, which is its original position. We're going to grab all these keyframes and easy ease them. Make sure to have your motion blur on, and then I'm going to grab all these keyframes and just move it one frame back, because that makes the animation of our liquid spiral effect feel smoother. And if you want to change the look of your liquid spiral effect, you can go to the tritone and just change the color of the midtones to whatever you want. And you can also just increase the intensity of the glow. And this is how the final effect looks like. If you guys found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.